Hey everybody, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life and welcome to Documenting the Good Stuff. So last month I participated with Sarah in the series of her documenting the hard stuff, where we both shared that link of our boys having autism. And today, or this month, she is doing the good stuff. So events and just happy times that you want to document. This is the easier stuff to do. But there are times where you maybe do more of one type of happy thing versus the other. So for me, I tend to do a lot of maybe like everyday moments or the normal stuff like holidays and Jackson going back to school and stuff like that. Whereas I don't always document like really fun and happy things like the Jackson, like for example, this layout is about Jackson's first trip into the big city. So we live in a city to begin with, but it's not the big city. So we don't live in Vancouver. We live outside of it. And we have to take the SkyTrain to get there and all of that stuff. And so this is what that was about. And he loved it. And it was so much fun. And definitely this was a good day. And this is good stuff to document. And so that is kind of the point of this month with her series that she's doing. It's the same thing. She's doing it every Wednesday. So make sure you head on over and check out what she creates. I decided that I was going to dig into my stash and use up a couple of these stickers anyway. So this is from Dear Lizzie. Now this is old Dear Lizzie. And those stickers you see me just randomly laying out, I have been wanting to do this where I just randomly lay them down on the side and make some sort of really fun element since the moment I got the sticker sheet. And I just never did it. I didn't have the right photos or whatever the case may be. I never made myself use it. And so today is the day I grabbed it and I am getting it used up. So I am definitely doing one of my goals that I set for myself for my spending freeze, which is using up my older stuff before I decide I don't like it anymore. So I'm very proud of myself for creating it. And what I end up deciding to do is I lay down that strip of pattern paper there, which has a bunch of XOs. I'm pretty sure it's a Valentine's Day line from Crate Paper. And I just wanted a little bit. I liked the way it looked and the off play it did. And then to back the photos, I did a corner with the really fun blue color because Jackson has a really cool blue sweater on. And then the gray because it's from the same collection and it's the back side. I believe it's the B side of that blue paper. And so it just kind of worked together. And so none of this goes together. Like my alpha that you see me using here to spell out the word a day in the, it is from Chamel. So yeah, a bunch of stuff, mishmash of stuff. I knew Sparkle City had something to do with this, like a city ephemera in some form. So I found the sticker, I got the sticker sheet in my Secret Not Secret kit and it worked perfectly. I'm just going to use that. I'm going to go back to the Dear Lizzie sticker sheet. I'm going to go back to that sticker sheet and you can see I pulled back out that Bliss Avenue. Where else am I going to use something like that? So I feel like it worked perfectly. It definitely gives off that vibe of being, in a city because we are. And then I just kind of layered my photos on top of each other. In the background of the 4x6 photo, there are people that I was trying to cover up. And that's what basically made me decide where my other photos were being placed. So it kind of covered up and it was a distraction for me. And so that's why I decided to get that covered up. And I'm going to use the word big and these big fun alpha there. That is a thicker that came from something from Creativation this year. I received it in my kit and I love those. They are so fun. So I start with just using the word big. And you'll notice in the final image that I actually go back and use the word day as well so that it's highlighted in a couple places. And then I'm doing my kind of go-to technique now, which is to cut up my paper and back it with some more pattern paper just to have a little bit of interest in kind of a blank spot there. So I go ahead and grab that pattern paper I used for the border at the bottom. I'm going to do one on the left and one on the right. And I love the way that looks. And honestly, basically, that's the layout. It's so simple, But doing the little bit that I did with the circles, and then you can see I doodled around each one of them as well so that it had a little bit more interest to that side. And then I go back to the enamel pieces that I had and I add a few hearts. I went into my Maggie Holmes and found just something to add a little bit of extra underneath the photo, so it wasn't quite so simple. It had a little bit more to it, along with some tissue paper, one more sticker, and I basically called it a day. Love the layout. I love the simplicity of it. It definitely helps highlight the story. We had gone in, this was the same trip when we took Jackson to see Paw Patrol live back in a very, very, very early 2018. So he had just turned 4, I guess. And he was still kind of obsessed with Paw. I mean, he was getting out of it by that time, but he still really enjoyed it enough, and he loved the show. But it was a big deal. He got to ride on the SkyTrain so we could get there, and we had to walk up to go where it was at the Queen Elizabeth Theater. So we had to walk a little bit through the city to get there, and he loved it. It was his first experience in Vancouver, and it was a really fun time for him. And though it was a little bit intimidating in a few places, he loved it. He really loved this fountain. It was probably his favorite part. He's into water, and he had fun watching it. He got to throw a penny in and just lots of fun things. So a great memory. I loved it, and I'm so happy to finally have it documented. What you're going to see in the final image is I do add the word Sunday Fun Day. I found that in my stash too while I was looking through a few things. I just add that down to the bottom. This was on a Sunday, and I wanted to have a little bit more of a city feel, and it definitely gave that kind of vibe to it. So pretty proud of the way this one turned out. Like I said, please make sure you go on over and check out Sarah's layout if you have not already, because you know it's going to be fabulous. And I will be back. I have another layout coming up on Friday, so stay tuned for that, along with my ideas on how I want to get through my embellishing for my spending freeze. There's a look at my finished layout, and I will see everybody really soon. Bye!